Hey, this is Notser, and today we're taking a look at the special Tier 10 American battleship Ohio in a great gold rank match. This was very memorable, and as you can see, the matchup is the following. We have to go up against a Haku, a Schlieffen, a Des Moines, a Petropavlovsk, and a Ragnar. So the enemy lineup's pretty good. I'm hoping to be effective, but I honestly don't know how well this game will end up going. But let's talk about the build. As far as my modules are concerned, main armor at Mod 1, lower chance of flood and fire, extended secondary gun range, faster rudder shift, concealment, better main battery accuracy, unique to the American battleship line. For the commander, incoming fire alert, vigilance, adrenaline rush, emergency repair party, extended secondary range, improved secondary gun accuracy, and fire prevention. So the Ohio is a very unique ship. It's a research bureau ship. It uses the Montana hull, which is a good hull. It has the fast recharge heal, which is nice. I choose to use the spotting aircraft for extended gun range and also firing over islands. Works really nicely that way. Because of the Ohio's design, it is basically synergistic by design, and that's why I align my build with this secondary hybrid survivability. Yeah, we give up a little bit compared to a pure survivability. You know, my AA isn't enhanced as much as it could be. I don't have the improved repair party cooldown based on potential damage. Those are things that I have to forego in order to get extra secondary gun range and extra secondary gun accuracy. But this ship is just so brutally strong. It really is a very fun experience, and it's probably the best research bureau ship in the game. And I think it's pretty solidly in slot 1. Now, I have played a lot of battleships recently. I have improved with the battleship, incorporating active dodging and just being aggressive. I can very easily dominate the map, and I'm looking to try and do that in this one, even with the aircraft carrier. Now, the aircraft carrier is obviously going to spot a battleship from space, so you're not going to be concealed quite the same that you would want to. You know, this is not the ideal situation, but it doesn't mean that I can't still have a clear advantage in this matchup. So as we were spawning, I make an effort to try and bring my battleship, since I'm the only battleship per team, I'm trying to be in between A and C. And while this is going on, the enemy aircraft carrier is harassing friendlies around me, and I'm, of course, activating my AA as much as I can to help them out. But we're really just trying to sail around for any information that could show up. And, ooh, an enemy Des Moines takes up an aggressive position just southwest of A. I have 457, which has 30 millimeters overmatch. I'm literally designed to counter this guy. And what? That first salvo, it's a whiff. Airball. I felt very dejected right there. I was like, oh gosh, is this how this game's gonna go? Every shot's gonna miss. Enemy Schlieffen firing high explosive, not really worried about that. We're just waiting on our AP to reload, and the Des Moines recognizes the danger, so he's gonna back up, which we're of course gonna aim in reverse. I have my secondary set to the Ragnar, but my primary is of course the Des Moines, and a healthy broadside of 14,000 damage. Not bad. Enemy Schlieffen is moving up as the Des Moines moving back, so I have to commit. Do I want to continuously attack the Des Moines, or do I want to retreat back and still engage the Schlieffen? I opt to retreat back, use my AA defensively, and engage the Schlieffen, and specifically the nose of the Schlieffen, because that has 27 millimeters of armor, which is quite easy for 457 to overmatch, and is one of the clear weak points of the Schlieffen. Anytime he's in a bow aggressive position and you get a nice clean shot like that, take it, because he's going to feel it, and he might consider a different course. As it stands, it looks like he wanted to turn and use the island to maybe block direct line of sight. I take a cheeky back shot with my forward gun still rotating in position. We get a little bit of chip damage on him as the Ragnar is attacking us. I am, of course, moving back. Now, the fact that the Ragnar is a really good ship doesn't negate a massive downside to it. it doesn't have torpedoes. So as a battleship, I'm not threatened by it in a short-term burst. I know for a fact there's no way he can actually kill me in a short amount of time. It's going to take ship damage, so I can afford to be aggressive with punishing players because of that. It's a nice, you know, obviously the Ragnar is very effective, but it could be worse for battleships. So we get a nice broadside shot on the Schlieffen, about 12,000. We follow up with another nice salvo. The combined 8-gun salvo was, what, like 20,000 damage? Yeah, I'm happy with that. Now, obviously, I'm a secondary battleship, but I'm not a dumb secondary battleship. The Schlieffen is a better secondary ship. It just has better secondary angle, better rate of fire, it has all the aligned design. So I want to minimize my time in secondary gun range against the Schlieffen specifically. But that doesn't mean I won't go back into secondary gun range in this game. So our friendly cruiser has progressed all the way to the enemy Petro. I tell him, you gotta ram him, man. That's really your only option. Schlieffen is keying off me, showing a broadside. And, of course, the Petro takes out our friendly. Before the ram, of course. So we don't get an even trade there. And the Petro is pretty healthy. So I'm just trying to get clean damage on the Schlieffen. Hopefully we can knock him out quickly. Because every second that we are unable to knock this guy out and he forces us to try and grind out a kill, the Petro can move against our flank, which we only have an aircraft carrier stopping the eastern side. So I'm a little worried that losing that cruiser could unlock the enemy's potential punishment, but we'll have to wait and see on that. So the Schlieffen, he softens his angle. I drop my accuracy down a little bit. We actually catch him out with a Citadel, which the 457 at that range is probably the reason we were able to get that Citadel. And we knock out the Schlieffen. Ooh, size. You know, he's, what can I say? He has advantages if he's pushing forward, but if you are sort of reacting in sort of a retreat or reactionary disengage, it's very hard for the Schlieffen to kill you if you can stay away from his secondaries. If you obviously don't get away from him in secondaries and he's allowed to continuously attack you, well, his secondaries are going to do a lot of work because they quite literally are the best secondaries in the game. They just are amazing, especially if you buff it for IFHE and secondary gun range and secondary reload and use the unique upgrade commander. You'll die really quickly. Enemy aircraft carriers inbound, and he's being a little lazy. My battleship is pretty good at anti-air, so we get a good, decent chunk on him. Enemy AA, and whoa, nice! Didn't expect the Citadel on that. I was just trying to do some chip damage to the Des Moines. I'll take it. He's knocked out, and we defend ourselves from air, which is nice. We killed 2 birds with 1 stone there. Now the enemy Ragnar is pushing up. Maybe he's going to potentially attempt to capture A point. My friendly DD is the Somers, and he needs to move back. He is way outclassed by the Ragnar in a gun situation. I am just trying to assist him with any bit of damage on him. So I'm trying to move closer. I'm trying to predict where the enemy wants to angle. And we do end up getting a nice little prediction there. Oh, yeah, nice. Healthy chunk off that guy. He's going to regret that. Secondaries, still attacking the Ragnar. I do a quick check of the Petro, because obviously the Petro is the other ship that is threatening me. He is not in line of sight just yet, so we're just fine. So I'm just going to continue going this direction while the Petro is pushing towards C point. Friendly Somers is under direct air attack. I recognize it, of course, and I want to try and continue to put pressure on the Ragnar. Meanwhile, the enemy aircraft carrier, he puts a spotting fighter over the friendly Somers. The Somers shoots it down, or it goes away, and all that's left... Oh, the Somers actually uses his smoke. All that's left is the Ragnar is somewhere north of the capture, because obviously he's not capturing A point, but he's not in vision. Now the Petro takes a shot at us, and it looks like the Ragnar has moved back and is behind the island.
Ship is on fire.
That's okay. He can do that. Obviously, keep in mind where the aircraft is. Always set yourself up so that you can mitigate the aircraft carrier. There's no reason to take free damage. That's kind of what the aircraft carrier takes advantage of, is players being lazy. But I can tell you, if you aggressively, and I mean aggressively, maneuver based on the detection of the aircraft, you can pretty much keep it down to one torpedo, if that makes contact. Yeah, I'm still trying to detect the Ragnar. And looks like we're going to get one more. And it actually incapacitates our gun, so I decide right there, okay, let's put the gun back up. Enemy Petro has arrived. So now that the Petro is here... Ooh, Sommer's got a lucky torpedo hit. Now that the Petro is here, we've got to address the Petro, obviously. The aircraft carrier is on his last aircraft of this squadron. It looks like we might be able to angle... Yeah, we're able to avoid both torpedoes. And now I'm just trying to open up my 457 so that it can punish the 25mm nose of the Petro. It's not an easy part of the ship to hit, but as long as I stay angled and I don't let the Petro's just monster penetration punish me, he can't hurt me. He doesn't do nearly enough damage. Front two guns don't really land where I need to. The back two guns, different story. We actually get a Citadel, and just like that, his health jumps down. Enemy aircraft carrier with attack rocket. That's fine. I don't care about the attack rocket right now. All I care about is knocking this guy out. And once again, one more on the 25mm bow. Wasn't quite enough, so we're just going to do a follow-up shot. And there you go. The Petro's knocked out relatively easily. He's got the giant 25mm Gonzo nose. What can I say? With good gun accuracy, which is a specialty of the Americans, it's really easy to consistently hit that weak point, and we knocked him out. So all that's left is the lone enemy aircraft carrier, who has continuously attacked us. We still have a couple charges of my heal, and the heal is very nice. It's not quite as powerful as the Montana in the effect, but the cooldown is much lower, so you can continuously stay aggressive. And especially these ranked battles where it's 5 versus 5, you're probably never going to actually use all of your charges, but you will be one of the few battleships that get to benefit from most of your charges. Enemy aircraft carrier, he's attempting to attack us, but we did catch him with a flak burst, and we pretty much wipe out all of his squadrons. He gets one little drop on us, but it's not that big of a deal. And the friendly aircraft carrier actually spots him, so we're just going to lead him in the direction he's headed. Aiming at the waterline, looking for a Citadel. Nice and healthy. No Citadel, but nice and healthy. And he probably feels incredibly helpless considering how many aircraft he's actually sent towards me. I don't even know if he has much... Yeah, his torpedo squadron is pretty unhealthy. So I just need to angle and use priority target to mitigate. And we're doing all right. I like to slow down sometimes to throw off torpedoes, so they have to like adjust. Sometimes it'll catch them napping, sometimes they'll make a mistake, sometimes they'll overshoot, and sometimes they'll basically land both. But it ultimately creates moments where the carrier has to question his play. He can't just autopilot in, and that really works in your advantage. And he recalls his torpedo squadron, but we get another one shot down, which is nice. We actually get the defensive AA ribbon. Remember, this build does not have a single point invested in AA defense, and we are doing this kind of work against this target. Part of the reason we're doing so well is he's actually making mistakes and taking the flak burst, but we're also min-maxing as much as we possibly can with good ship angle. And our final heal is available. No, yeah, aircraft just slapped us. Thankfully, there's no kamikaze damage or anything like that. Enemy aircraft carrier, he must be right up against this island because we see his fighter just patrolling. His torpedo squadron's very unhealthy, and he actually drops it so far away that I drop my speed, and we should be able to avoid it. Yeah, just barely. And as he drops it, he recalls it, and we just keep shooting down every aircraft we possibly can. Oh, and that final torpedo attack, it was unaimed, and it's going to miss both the left and the right torpedo. So as I'm moving up, I can see the squadrons that are lifting off. It's not really that big of a deal. Friendly aircraft carrier spots the enemy aircraft carrier, which enemy aircraft carrier looks like he just wants to sail right into the island to make it the hardest possible shot for me to knock him out. Oh, we actually missed the attack rocket. He was a little too far forward. Oh man, come on, let's get this guy. Yeah, aircraft carrier. There's nowhere to run. Aiming at the waterline. First Citadel, second salvo. Throws him out of the water, and that's a fourth and final kill of this game. That was a carry in the Ohio. One of the best battleships at tier 10. Like top 3. It is great. It is so synergistically successful. 3,400 base XP, 4 kills, 61 aircraft shot down. Just a monster job in this ship. If you enjoyed the video, please like it. You can also subscribe to my channel. I stream at twitch.tv/Notser. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day.